What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. With this video, we are jumping into DC Comics vs. Vampires, issue number 8. We are slowly getting to the end of this limited series. The battle for humanity is still raging on. The surviving heroes, they put their various plans into motion in their last attempt to save the world. Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, you have liked this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up at the House of Mystery, a place that's not really real, something that is intangible. This is a hideout for all of our magic users. John Constantine, today he is bringing 2 vampires along with him, most notably Damian Wayne, and we did see him in the one-shot titled Hunters. While Damian Wayne may be a vampire, he is working for humanity, and in Hunters we saw him fail to take down Nightwing, the Vampire King. There is a possibility that Hunters took place after the event of this comic, but it seems more likely that he is now working with John Constantine to try and find another way to take him down. As they go inside here, what we see are individuals like Dr. Fate and Spectre. They currently have a vampire tied up, and they are doing whatever magic they can to try and cure vampirism. As they sit here and have this guy tied up, almost every time they fail, this vampire exploding and blood shooting in all directions. But John Constantine had come here to talk to Dr. Fate, taking something from him. We don't really know what it is that he has, but picking up just a little bit later, what we see is John Constantine and Green Arrow having a conversation. Canary walking in on this conversation, wanting to know what is going on, but Constantine not wanting to get in the middle of any of this going on. He excuses himself, and Canary and Green Arrow have a talk. Before he even gets the opportunity to lie, Canary lets him know that she doesn't want to hear it. She doesn't want to hear him talk because she knows that he is not going to tell the truth. But what she does know is that Ollie is leaving. Canary and the Birds of Prey, they are headed off to Gotham. They are going to go find Nightwing, and they are going to put a stake into his chest. Oliver, on the other hand, he wants to go take care of the blood farms. And though he wants her by his side, right now they are on 2 different missions. He wants to go save people in cages, and she wants to bring an end to the Vampire King. Oliver believes that this isn't the best plan they can do, because if they remove Nightwing from the throne, he knows that once Nightwing is actually removed, someone like Martian Manhunter could very easily take up that spot. And so the 2 of them, they spend one night together before they go on their last missions. Taking us back over to the House of Mystery. All of our magic users, they get a knock on the front door. Not really sure who this might be, believing that maybe it's Constantine. When they open up the door, who they find is Jason Blood the Vampire. Along with him, Raven and some other individuals. They have come to ensure that everybody forgets something. This is where we have Barbara Gordon. She is currently having a dream, nightmare, not sure what you call it, because we have Nightwing, who is currently a vampire eating from the neck of somebody else. Batgirl comes in with a stake to put it into his chest, but instead the 2 of them embrace one another. They start kissing, and we see her turned into a vampire, waking up from this in a quick hurry. This has been running through her mind constantly. The man that she loved more than anybody is the Vampire King. This dream is just a symbolism of the battle that she is constantly waging in her own head between love and duty. But she was woken up because we have an individual who is in her room, burnt to an absolute crisp. This is John Constantine. The problem is, John Constantine has no memory right now. No memory of what happened to him or where he has been. He knows that he went somewhere and that there was a fire. He knows that something has been erased. He remembers flames. He remembers screaming. He tried to help them, and the more it burned, the less he knew. He doesn't even know how he got back. But whatever he was doing, they burned the idea out of his mind. He tells her though to go to Gotham, make Nightwing pay for taking all of this from them. Now this is where we see Batgirl and Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn has been used as an experiment, more or less. Hugo Strange has been working on some kind of vampire cure. Harley Quinn, her blood is the only cure that they know of, the only thing that can kill vampires. We saw this in DC vs. Vampires Killers. Lex Luthor, his blood was the last source of blood that could kill vampires. Believing that he made it to save humanity, he had also died. Harley Quinn injecting herself with this blood, she became humanity's last hope. But Batgirl has come here for Harley Quinn. Hugo Strange not wanting to give her up, this gets physical. Hugo Strange having Frankenstein on his side. Frankenstein believing that he is doing the honorable and noble thing by trying to save humanity. Batgirl tries to explain to Frankenstein that you guys have kidnapped a girl and are experimenting on her against her own will. Harley Quinn being able to get free, smashing a chair over Hugo Strange. She then proceeds to stomp his freaking face in, Batgirl pulling her away. A little bit later, we see Canary, Harley Quinn, and Batgirl. Joining the forces with them is Frankenstein, recognizing that their goal, their mission is truly the noble mission, that he will fight by their side, offering up his sword as service. Harley Quinn is one of the few individuals that knows how to sneak into Gotham. She was able to escape, and so the birds of prey together are gonna go take down the Vampire King. Picking us up on the ocean, headed to Australia, we have Steel and Supergirl. Supergirl being one of the last Kryptonians that has not been turned or killed. They are headed up to Australia so they can really try to find the sun. The vampires, they have been doing missions up into space. If they can get her into space, into the upper atmosphere where the sun is shining, she can blow all of the clouds away and save humanity. As they make their way across the ocean, they are quickly overrun. The creatures of the sea are making their arrival, completely outnumbered. Black Manta with them on their side. They are fighting them off the best they can, but we see Supergirl grab prisoner, a knife to her throat. Believing this might be the end of Supergirl, this is when something happens. This sea dweller is ripped apart from the inside, because that is where our Wonder Twin comes into play. Now having the power of both her and her brother. Not really sure how or why this happened. Ever since her brother's death, she has had the power to form of water and the form of animal. She had been following behind them on the boat the entire time, swearing to protect Supergirl at all costs. She had been trailing behind them, and as soon as she saw them coming up from the ocean, she let one of them swallow her while she was in her water form. With Supergirl welcoming her aboard, we have our heroes out on their missions. 3 teams, 3 different objectives. The last-ditch effort for all of humanity now rests in their hands. This is sink or swim. The last stand, the last battle. It all comes down to this. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You know, I'm still not the biggest fan of DC versus vampires. It's something that we're obviously going to continue to cover. It's just the heroes that they have taken out throughout these stories have been relatively disappointing. How quickly some of these heavy hitters have been taken down. And I guess it makes sense in some ways because you don't want overpowered individuals in this fight. The truth is, they would just clean the freaking board with all these vampires. You know, they even found a justification on taking down Kryptonians, which regardless of how they explain it, I don't care. I don't believe it. I don't think it is possible. I think it is just a plot hole written into the story so you can take Kryptonians off the board completely. But I do like that Green Arrow has really been a huge aspect of this. I love that Damian Wayne, even though he is a vampire, he turns against the Vampire Nation. The Birds of Prey, I said it before when Harley Quinn was, having the blood of Lex Luthor inside her body. I hate the fact that they used Harley Quinn for this. She's just so oversaturated, overused, constantly in everything. I mean, the girl even has her own freaking HBO Max TV show. I get it, she's super popular, people love Harley Quinn, I'm just not one of them. I just can't jump on board. But it will be very interesting to see the Birds of Prey go against the Vampire King. There's a lot I'm excited for. I really hope that this ending, I really hope they nail it. I hope they land it. I hope it's gonna be phenomenal. But at this point, I have huge cautions. I am really nervous that this is just going to suck. That the ending isn't going to land on its feet, and they're gonna make another plot hole in this story to make it make sense. In other news, we do have Deceased that is coming back. The Attack of the Undead Gods. Darkseid had gone to, I can't remember if it was the old gods or the new gods. It might have been the new gods. And we think that he would turn them all into zombies. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what happened with that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you are trying to get caught up on everything going on with DC versus vampires, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by hitting the super thanks button. This button will let you donate directly to the channel, and every little bit helps us out. Now, if you can't do that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.